Chris, could you tell us some of the benefits of Eleuthero, the herb Eleuthero? And it used to be Siberian ginseng?
Yeah, Eleuthero was called Siberian ginseng for a long time in this market, and then a few years ago, growers of ginseng from Wisconsin were able to get legislation through in the Farm Bill that prohibited calling Eleuthero a ginseng, which it isn't, by the way. It never was a true ginseng. It's ginseng-like in its properties. But if you're looking at the map of China, when I was talking about rhodiola, it was in the far northwest. Eleuthero's in the far northeast, okay, in an area called Heilongjiang, which means Black River Dragon Province. Very, very cool name. Anyway, it's right up against the Russian border. And Eleuthero has been used for a couple of thousand years. It's one of the great health treasures of China. There's a quote from almost a 2,000-year-old text that says, "I would rather have a handful of Eleuthero than a cartload of gems." And I don't know, maybe I'd take the cartload of gems and buy some Eleuthero. But the point is, it's very highly prized.
Okay.
It is like rhodiola, it's an adaptogen. So it helps you to adapt physically and mentally to all forms of stress. Altitude, temperature, hectic schedule, financial worries, emotional issues, moving, job changes, all that stuff. Eleuthero does this. It's on the training table of almost all Asian athletes. I would not say that Eleuthero possesses the same broad kind of psychiatric applications that rhodiola does. But it's another one of those herbs that makes you really feel good. And when people take Eleuthero, when they make it part of their regular daily plan, they just plain feel better. So I've very, very high regard for Eleuthero. It's been, one of the most popular botanicals in China forever. And its trade is pretty big. It's widely available here and in other countries outside of China.
And what about ginseng?
Ginseng, the first herb, I think really the first herb I ever got really turned on to was ginseng root. I remember going into a health food store and buying ginseng root for the first time and going, so what do I do with it? And I would sort of gnaw on it, and it was good fun. As is the case with rhodiola and Eleuthero, ginseng is in that very rare group called the adaptogens. You get 50,000 plants in use as medicines. There are maybe 8 or so adaptogens. It's a really little group.
An elitist group, it sounds like.
An elite group, for sure. And we know that ginseng, Panax ginseng, or American ginseng, which is Panax quinquefolia, we know that ginseng enhances mental function. It performs the adaptogenic effects that you would expect, enabling you to deal with all kinds of stress factors more readily. There is a recent study on American ginseng showing that it enhances cognitive function.
All right.
And people like Dr. James Duke and some other famous botanists have done a lot of work with the brain-enhancing properties of ginseng. What I like about the adaptogens, the 2 Panax ginsengs included, is that you feel them. Just like you feel ginger. If you drink a cup of ginger tea, you feel it going down because it's very spicy and pungent, and you feel it. You just go, oh, wow, I just had a good stimulating, bracing cup of ginger tea. When people have the experience of actually feeling an herb's activity, then it's easier for them to accept the real health benefits of herbs. If you take something like, I don't know, burdock root, okay? It's good for you, genuinely so. It's legitimately good for you. But you're not going to have an experience of feeling it work in your body. If you take milk thistle extract to detoxify the liver, it's going to do that job. We know it does that well, but you're not going to say, wow, I can feel my liver cells repairing right now. That's not going to happen.
Well, I think that's really important. So to feel the effects would be very good.
Yeah, and these are effects that are desirable effects, not like, taking Prozac and all of a sudden you're impotent and you don't sleep well. Not like taking Xanax where you're addicted, you have to take ever larger amounts, you can't get off of it because of concern about seizures, you know, you're nervous and irritable all the time as a result. You know, these things, the worst thing that's going to happen is they don't work for you. The best thing that's going to happen, and the likely scenario, is they're going to work or work very, very well. And you'll say, hey, I like drinking ginseng tea every day because it makes me feel good and strong, or, you know, whatever it is that you're taking.
Thank you so much.